I'm Linda Medina Lopez and your host for UpCloseTV. Joining us today is Leal Anderson, the Director of Athletics for the Austin Independent School District. Leal, thank you for joining us this morning.
Sure. How you doing today?
Good. I would love to get to know you and tell me more about the department and all of the amazing things that you are doing this year. So tell me more about who you are, where you're from, how you landed in Austin.
Okay. I grew up in a small town in between Oklahoma City and Tulsa called Prague, Oklahoma, and really played all sports there: football, basketball, ran track, played baseball, and so it was a great upbringing. I played basketball at a small college in Bartlesville called Oklahoma Wesleyan, and then I transferred to the University of Oklahoma, is where I finished up my business degree. And after that, I moved here to Texas. I got a job working in technology. I actually worked for a company called National Instruments. It was a great company, and did really well there. And so, it wasn't exactly what I really wanted to do long term. I had always had a love for working with kids and in sports, and so I really wanted to get into coaching. And so I pursued an opportunity at Anderson High School to become a teacher and a coach, where I got a chance to really work with people more. And an opportunity came up, and so I was assistant coach there for a number of years. I also went back and got my master's degree from University of Texas in sports management, and they had the best program in the nation at the time. So I was really fortunate to get into that program, do some great things. I became the head basketball coach at Anderson High School. We had some great runs there, some great teams there. And this opportunity came available, and just wanted to give it a shot. It's all about helping kids. And this was an opportunity to help a lot of kids in the Austin Independent School District. There's about roughly 14,000 or so student athletes that participate in athletics from middle school all the way through high school. So the opportunity was there to help kids, and that's really what I want to do, and that's my main focus in this role as the athletic director.
How long were you at Anderson High School?
I was at Anderson High School for 10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
Do you still go back and visit? And
I do. I try to visit all of our schools, actually.
Yes,
I get out. That's something that's first and foremost for me, is I want to get out and visit with all of our campuses. I've largely done that now. I've pretty much been to all the middle schools and high schools to get out and visit, to meet the coaches that are there, see what they're going through on a daily basis, to see the facilities that they have, maybe some of the needs that they have as well. So I do try to get out to the campuses and visit the coaches and the teachers that are there. I also get out to the events. I try to visit as much as possible to the volleyball games, football games, basketball games, cross-country meets, swim meets, tennis. There's a lot of different sports going on. So just, trying to get out and be visible to the people that are out there, the fans that come out and support. We have a lot of great events, a lot of great schools, so I try to get out and visit as much as possible.
so you have a busy schedule.
My schedule is always
a little
busy.
bit of everything.
Yes, absolutely. We have about 12 high schools and 19 middle schools that participate in athletics. And so that's a lot of ground to cover. I mean, we've got schools up north, down south, east and west, and they're spread out all over central Austin. So there's quite a bit of ground to cover. My schedule is always busy. There's always something going on. But again, I'm really thankful and fortunate for the opportunity to get out and do that.
So you've been in this role for about 1.5 years now. Tell me more about your role and what are some of the goals of the department?
Okay, so first and foremost, we're about kids. We are about supporting our student athletes that are participating in athletics. And so that's our number one goal of everybody in the department. We also support our coaches that are out there. Anything that they need, any way that we can assist the athletic department, that's what we do. The role of the athletic director in the athletic department is anything that happens up until the point of when the game starts, whether it be ordering uniforms or getting buses there for the kids to take them to games, to equipment that they may need for practice. That's what we do. All the behind the scenes stuff, making sure the stadiums are ready, the gyms are ready, and everything is ready to go for the kids to go out there and compete and have the best possible opportunity to be successful. That's what our role is. So first and foremost, we support kids, we support our coaches in the district. And that's something that is not easy, because we have a lot of kids and we have a lot of coaches that are out there. But that's in a nutshell what we do.
everyone has a story, and I know you mentioned that, you went from NI to teaching. What inspired you to be an educator? Like, what was it?
Well, as I was in college, I remember working at a camp in the time that I was transitioning to the University of Oklahoma, where I finished my business degree. But I worked at a Christian sports youth camp one summer, and I got a chance to be a camp counselor. And during that time, I spent the entire summer in Missouri, Golden, Missouri, a small place. But I got a chance to really work with kids, a lot of inner city youth kids that came in from all over the country, and they got a chance to spend a week, in the cabin. And we did everything with them, from fishing to making our beds up in the morning to eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. And it was really that, being around kids is I really, I was like, man, this was really, really neat. And so, as I was working at NI, it was more of, I was in a cubicle, I was behind a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day, not really working with people. And I kind of missed really kind of connecting with those kids and being with them and being an influence in their lives every day. And so after doing that for a number of years, I really wanted to kind of get back into that mode of helping kids, working with kids. My background in sports, I played on a very successful basketball team in high school, and I played on 3 state tournament teams in high school. So, that was a tremendous run. So really the love of being around kids, being around people, the love of sports, playing sports in high school, a little bit in college, becoming, getting into, to teaching and coaching was just a natural fit for what I love to do. And so that's what allowed me to kind of make that transition, from what I was doing before into teaching and coaching. And I had a great 10 years. I loved every single minute of it, while I was at Anderson. And now I get a chance to go out and see the kids, almost on any given night and watch them perform on the field, on the court, or whatever they may be doing. And I get a chance to interact with a lot more coaches and a lot more kids on an everyday basis. And so it's just a broader, perspective at this point. And so, but that's really what caused me, I think, to make the transition into education. And I also believe that it's really important that we teach the kids more than just the game. That's actually our motto for the district is from athletics is to teach more than the game. So I believe in, I always believed in as a coach as being a role model for, the student athletes that played for me. And, a lot of them, they may not have somebody to look up to in this day and age just because of everything that's going on in society. But I just wanted to be someone that not only just talked about doing the right thing or working hard or having accountability or integrity, but I wanted to live that through my life. And that was something that I got a chance to hopefully impact a lot of those kids that played for me. And also that's something I want all of our coaches to do on a continual basis as they work with their teams every day. Teach them that, we want to teach blocking, tackling, running, and jumping, but also we want to teach some life lessons, some life values of accountability, integrity, structure, discipline, those things that are going to stick with you when you leave, when those kids leave that program and they move on to college or work or life or whatever it is they're going to be doing. They need to have something that's going to stick with them.
My husband played football in high school, and I asked him, what was, your favorite part about, sports? And he said, what? It was the family. Yeah. It was a support system. It was the coaches, and it was the students, sure. My colleagues. And so he's still friends with many of them. So it just, I really didn't see it that way until he just really just talked about it so passionately.
Sure, absolutely. Yes. And you could probably ask almost anyone that's participated in sports at some point in the past. There's probably been that coach that's been really impactful in their lives, that's really kind of helped change or shape their life. Right. And because the fact is, in almost every case, our coaches are spending more time than the parents are with their kids. When you look at the number of after-school practices that they have, the time that they spend on the bus traveling to and from the contest, the games that they may have on Friday nights, or if it's, basketball Tuesday and Friday nights, so they're spending a lot of time with those kids. And so they are a role model, whether they want to be or not. And a lot of times those kids will look up to their coaches as someone that's a leader and that's a positive influence in their life. And that coach has a lot of power and influence over that kid's life. life. So we want to be teaching them some good things that are going to stick with them. So that's important. Yeah.
You know, most recently, I think sometime this week on Facebook, someone posted, you know, when you were talking about, you know, being that role model.
Sure.
You know, this posting said, be that person you want to look up to.
Yeah.
So it's almost like influence within you,
Sure.
you know, so that you can influence others and be that positive
Absolutely.
role model.
There's a quote by Gandhi that says, "Be the change that you want to see in the world today."
Yeah.
And so
Starts with you.
Absolutely. So if everyone really took that to heart, the world would be a better place.
Definitely. So October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
And I saw a couple of flyers around several campuses and central office. Can you tell me more about what the athletics department is doing
Sure.
to support this cause?
Well, absolutely. You know, again, there's a lot going on in society around domestic violence. And I don't know if it's more going on now or if we're just hearing about it more because of the social media that's out there and the newspapers and everything that's taking place, or both. I think it's probably a combination of both those things. You're just hearing about so much more these days. And you know, and the NFL is doing some things around, you look at the Ray Rice video and all that came out, they are doing some things. You know, there probably could be more things that are done. But from an athletics perspective, we wanted to really, you know, take that on and really hit it at a ground roots approach, if you will. Because, again, we do have a lot of kids. Every kid that's in college or in high school or in the NFL that are playing, they came through high school at some point. So we really feel that if we can reach out to our kids and really impact their lives before they ever get to that point, before any domestic violence is ever committed, that's going to be key in helping to mitigate some of what we see in society today. So we actually launched a campaign where we put together, we had about over 12 different school districts around Central Texas come together for to House Park for a kickoff event. I got to speak to a number of different coaches and kids about what domestic violence is, what sexual abuse is, some signs of when they see it. We also gave some phone numbers and some different help mediums that they could call or contact if they're in a situation where that's going on, or if they have a friend that's in a situation and they want to reach out. I also spoke to our coaches about some signs that they may see in their kids and what they can do to help, because again, they do have a strong platform as well. So we had a great kickoff event. The theme was football is a contact sport, but love should not be. And so it's a great theme. We also included a lot of our female student athletes this year. I thought that was good. We had a good turnout there. Basically, we're putting purple ribbons on the back of our football helmets to raise awareness for the month of October. And then we're also, for our female student athletes, they have ribbons, purple ribbons that they'll wear in their hair while they're competing in volleyball throughout the month of October. So it was a very successful event. We had, again, a good number of coaches and kids that came out to participate in it. But we're just trying to raise awareness, but also give some very specific guidelines and things that our student athletes can do if they are in that situation, so that they can have a chance to get out of that situation and get help.
Yeah, being involved in sports is definitely one of the most popular extracurricular activities in high school. What are some of the benefits? We know you already mentioned character education. Tell me more academically, socially, you know, can you share some examples?
Absolutely. I think there's a huge benefit there. First of all, our coaches are teaching the kids the right values that they should be instilling in their lives. Athletics is an extension of the classroom. You know, it just doesn't stop when the bell rings. The academics piece is so important. It's so important that if the kids are not passing, they don't play. And that's something that the UIL is mandated, and we follow all of the UIL rules. But that is huge because if you go to any game on a Friday night or any night of the week, every person that's there competing, they're out there, they've passed their classes, they've attended, you know, the attendance has been there for them, and they've done the right things to stay out of trouble to have that opportunity to get out there and compete. Because it's an opportunity to be out there. It's not something that's just automatically given that everyone can go out there and do. So the academics piece is huge. We want our kids being highly successful, studying, passing their classes. We want them doing the right things. We want them working as hard as they can. we have some core values that align with AISD. They are accountability, integrity, structure, and discipline. And those are the values that, as an athletics department, we stick to, and we're encouraging all of our teams to commit to some certain core values that they're going to teach their teams about. So there's a lot of benefits that come from it. You know, being on a team social-wise. I mean, you're spending time on the bus, in practice, bonding with your teammates and the other players that are on that team. And I think that's something that'll help go a long way in terms of when you get a job, you know, when you're working someday, and knowing how to work with people and relate with people. And those are some of the intangible benefits that are reaped from playing on an athletics team.
Speaking of athletes, I'm sure AISD has had a lot of amazing graduates that were in the athletics department. Can you think of one or two athletes that maybe perhaps went into the NBA, the NFL, college sports, you name it?
Absolutely. There's a ton that are in college. I even have, you know, a few that played for me that are in college now. One at Air Force Academy, one at St. Edwards, another one in Fort Lewis up in Colorado, one going to Concordia. So I see a lot of those in college now, and I still maintain a relationship with a lot of those players. But we have had some that's made it to the NFL. If you look at Michael Griffin, he was a football player that played for Bowie High School, and now he's playing for the Tennessee Titans in the NFL and has a very successful career there. There was a basketball player, Chris Clack, who went to Anderson High School. He played at University of Texas in college, great player there. Went on and played for a short stint with the Boston Celtics. So we do have some players that have played in the NFL and in the NBA and so forth. And I think we'll start to have more as people start to kind of look at athletics and say, you know, we're making a turn here. We're doing some good things. We've got some good kids, and they're competing. They're working as hard as they can.
Awesome. I look forward to hearing more about them, and you know, maybe they can come into our schools. You mentioned some of them already have, so
sure.
I mean, great motivational speakers so that our students can look up to. You know, walking the walk, talking the talk.
Absolutely. And those kids, you know, they get so excited when they see a college athlete that's coming back.
That could be me in a couple of years.
Exactly.
You know?
They're looking at, hey, if I work hard, if I do the right things, I stay out of trouble, I get my grades, you know, I have an opportunity to maybe play in college or maybe in the NFL or NBA at some point. And I think that's great. And even if they don't, you know, we want them to go on and you know, get into school, get your education. That way you're going to have a better opportunity for success in your everyday life.
Can you share with us what have been some of your accomplishments within the department this past, within the past year and a half? Let's just say, because I know our school year just started, you know, 2 months ago.
Exactly.
What have been some of your accomplishments?
Well, sure. One of the big, just every day, again, it goes back to supporting our kids, supporting our coaches that are out there, and that's an everyday thing. And every decision that we make, it really goes back to that. You know, are we supporting our kids and our coaches? You know, one of the things that was a big initiative that we rolled out just this past year was we did implement a new website, AustinISDathletics.com. And basically for every high school in the district, we have a consistent looking website for all of our schools. It has all of the sports in there. And then all of that is integrated with Facebook and with Twitter as well. There's so many people, parents, players that are in social media now, and they get a lot of their news through social media. And I know Dr. Cruz has pushed it as well, but we're in that realm now of having a presence from an athletics perspective for all of our schools through our online websites where you can get the scores, you can get the standings, you can get the schedule, and then also just in terms of, you know, Twitter, getting news updates. I'll usually send out a few tweets from whatever game I'm at that night about what's going on. And so that's been a huge initiative. It's going really well. We're also looking at maybe doing an app for AISD athletics, and so that's something that maybe in the next year or so will be on the horizon for us, where you can get scheduling scores and so forth. So we're just trying to stay on the cutting edge of some of those things that are coming out. That's been huge for us. Again, just continuing to teach our kids about doing the right things, about character development. The National Domestic Violence Awareness Campaign, I think, was huge for us this year. I learned a lot, you know, just in terms of researching that and preparing that information and giving it to our kids and our coaches. So that's been really successful. And so it's been a lot of work, just getting out and seeing the facilities, meeting with the coaches and visiting and seeing what they need. We also just got a grant from the J.J. Watt Foundation to help a lot of our middle school athletics. We worked on another grant as well to get some additional money for some of our middle school athletics, and so that came through positive for us. So we're trying to be creative in terms of what we can do and how we can get additional resources that are out there. Not to mention our facilities. With the flood that we had at House Park, getting that redone this summer, that was a lot of work, and the turf was done down at Berger and opening the new soccer and football field down there. So there's been a lot of things that have taken place and gone on in the last year and a half that have been successful, and I think it's going to make athletics better. I think we've got to continue to push, and we've got to continue to work hard to get as much as we possibly can for our student athletes. They need it, they deserve it, and that's kind of where we're at.
Can you tell me more about what is the athletics department doing to reach out to students in underserving schools so that they can, get motivated to enroll in tennis or football? Is there any type of outreach that y'all are doing?
Absolutely. So one thing that we've definitely encouraged is our high schools and our middle schools working more collaboratively together, and so that's something that I think is good. Having our coaches on the campuses of the middle schools to talk with those kids, to visit with them, and then also have the kids on the campus of the high schools to come watch a game, come visit. That's something that we've reached out to do. Another thing is we worked with the food service program to get some meals for some of our kids so that they can get after school, after practice meals, and that's going really successful as well. And we're even trying to reach even deeper into the elementary classes. We just had a big kickoff event with Marathon Kids, and that was really good. But we're trying to get our elementaries even more active, in whether it's walking every day or maybe you're jogging a few laps or maybe you're just playing outside. Because if we can engage them at a younger age, by the time they get to athletics in the 7th grade, there's not as much of a gap or a makeup difference for them to get physical and get active, get into shape, and get stronger and so forth. So we're trying to reach even deeper to those lower levels to get the kids more active, more moving, so that they're able to compete when they get to the 7th grade for athletics.
What have been some of the district facility improvements? Okay,
I'm sure everyone saw what happened at House Park this past Memorial Day. So it was obviously flooded, and that turf was unusable. So that was one of the big projects that took a lot of our time this summer, was replacing the turf there at House Park. Also, some of the electrical components that were at the stadium as well. And so we're really fortunate to get that done this summer, get that done in time to start the football season. Also at Berger, the turf was replaced out there. That was scheduled to be done. It was older and worn, and so it's ready to go. And then we also just opened a new, there's a football and soccer facility, that's the annex field at Berger Stadium. And so that's something that is really, really neat. It's a neat facility. We'll play football and soccer on that field as well. We've got a lot of teams in the district, and we really don't quite have enough space to compete. We're also doing some work at Yellow Jacket Stadium. That's another place over on East Austin that we're going to be hoping to use in the very near future for some of our athletic events like football and potentially soccer. So a lot of good things going on, and in terms of our facilities, trying to get them upgraded and up to speed for what we need.
So it sounds like you have a busy schedule, lots of events, sporting events to attend, and work, everything. What's life outside of work?
Well,
tell me more about that.
It's spending time with my family is the main thing that I do. My wife and I we've got 2 boys, Jordan and Alex, and they're great. And so just spending time with them, they keep us busy all the time. And so sometimes I'll bring my oldest son out to a game with me just so we can spend a little more time together, and he'll run around there in the end zone or whatever while I'm maybe visiting with a few of the coaches or whatever. And so but that's really what I enjoy most, and on the weekends or whatever it may be when I'm not at an event, just spending time with family and connecting with them and visiting with them.
Favorite activities in Austin in terms of festivals or restaurants? You know what, I just want to head out over here at Mount Bunnell for for a few minutes and
Sure.
just kind of relax.
I know.
I don't know.
Absolutely. My wife loves to go hiking, so we'll do that from time to time. We'll
Yes.
strap the boys up and we'll just go to, a random place and go hiking in the woods, and we'll do that. And then also, just in terms of restaurants, there's a place over on the east side called Hoover's. And it's really good, down-home Southern cooking food. It's a really good place. I don't get to eat there a lot, but when I do, I usually try to get something that's really good. And that's one of my favorite places to eat. And so I've got a friend, Sean Clinch with K-View. We'll meet up there sometimes, and we'll get a chance to eat. But yeah, and Austin has a lot of really good places to eat, a lot of good restaurants, and so we'll get out from time to time as a family and go and eat. But really, there's a lot of good things going on in this city. I'm proud to be here, proud to be a part of it. Austin ISD Athletics is doing great, and I'm looking forward to the things that we're going to do in the future as well.
How can parents and community members learn more about the athletics department?
Sure, there's a couple ways. One, if you go to our website, austinisdathletics.com, you can find pretty much all the information that you may need or want there. You can also email us, and we can get you information, or you can call the athletic office and get pretty much any information that you may need, whether it's how do I get my kid involved, or maybe if there's a question about a physical or equipment or whatever. We're happy to help answer those questions. And so there's a lot of resources. Again, we're on Facebook, Twitter, so the social media aspect, you can get a lot of information through that as well. So there's a lot of different ways to reach out and connect with the athletics department, with me, or whatever. So that's something that's available, that's out there, and I definitely encourage anyone that's looking to get into it to reach out and let us know how we can help.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you for this opportunity and just the time that we have here. I think it's great. I'm happy to help out any way we can. Again, we're about supporting kids and coaches, and so that's our mission. That's what we're going to do each and every day, and so I look forward to that challenge every day.
Well, thank you for joining us, Leal. It was amazing to hear all of the great work that you're doing within the Department of Athletics.
Thank you.
If you have suggestions to programming, please email me at linda.medina@austinisd.org or call 512-414-9706. I'm Linda Medina Lopez and your host for UpCloseTV.